Hello and welcome to Big Brother Conversations. My name is Karenayou. I would like to officially introduce you to this special program where we'll be talking about issues, analyzing various conversations, attitude, and behaviors that are being displayed in the reality game show. Now, for those of you who do not know what Big Brother is all about, it's a reality game show whereby different people from different parts of the world or different parts of the country or different walks of life come together in a particular environment and play a game to win the prize money. I think that's the simple definition I can give for Big Brother. And we have Big Brother for different countries. We have Big Brother USA, Big Brother Nigeria, Big Brother South Africa. Big Brother for different countries. It's not just Big Brother in a particular country. So our conversations is going to be based on Big Brother Titans. Yes, Big Brother Titans started on the 15th of January, but then we are going to analyze the first week of the game show. Now, Big Brother Titans is actually Big Brother Nigeria and Big Brother South Africa. Both countries came together and decided that they should have Big Brother Titans and show their culture from different parts of the country and show Africa their culture. So they are trying to show us Nigerian culture and they are also trying to show us South African culture. So 20 housemates came into the game show on the launch day, and first of all, one of the big issue that was on ground was that why is Big Brother happening when Nigeria is going to be having their elections? For those of you who do not know, Nigeria is having their elections this year, 2023, and a lot of energy is being put into this election because people are not happy. People are so focused on making sure that the president is changed and we have a good president. So a lot of people felt like the Big Brother was going to distract Nigerian youths, and many people condemned the show and was like, why should they do Big Brother at this particular time? I didn't explain. There's Big Brother Nigeria, there's Big Brother Zanzi, and Big Brother Zanzi is for South Africa, Big Brother Nigeria definitely for Nigeria. So Big Brother Zanzi and Big Brother Nigeria, they came together and decided that, okay, let's do this reality show, let's learn about our culture, let's understand how Nigerian culture works, let's understand how South Africa culture works, and that's how they came up with Big Brother Titans. Our Nigerian people, many people have criticized heavily that this show is not supposed to happen, that we have an election, and some people are like, it's an entertainment show. If you want to watch, you can watch. You shouldn't let this distract you. Now, for those of you who do not know, I have my PVC. Before you people come and attack me, I have my PVC and I'm ready to vote, and I hope you also have your PVC. Alright, so talking about the game Big Brother Titans, like as I said, 20 housemates came into the game show. 10 is from South Africa, 10 is from Nigeria, 5 are male, 5 are female, South Africa and Nigeria respectively. And one of the things that you definitely observed in the show was the housemates connecting on the very first day when they were introduced by the show host, which is Ibuka and Lawrence from South Africa. Now, having conversations, connecting was one of the major key. And then, although there are certain people that seem a little bit distant, I don't know about you, if you go to a particular environment on the first day, will you act very loud, or will you just keep your cool and take your time to observe how these people are? So most people try to bond, most people try to connect, most people try to see how they can have conversations with people, know themselves, and see how they can play the game together. So one of the other things we observed in this reality show is the diary sections. Now, the diary section is very, very important. It is really, really essential in the sense, by aside from the fact that these housemates, they need to talk to their fellow housemates, they also need to talk to somebody, like a different person that is not in that house with them, and the person they have these conversations with is Big Brother. Now, this diary section is more like a therapy section whereby you talk to Big Brother, you tell Big Brother, okay, this is how I'm feeling, this is what is happening in the house, this is what I'm not comfortable with. It's just like an essential part of the house where the housemate try to connect and voice out whatever is not cool with them. One thing about people being in a particular environment, it is very important that there should be a leader. And Big Brother tries this game whereby they do a competition for housemates to play, and a particular housemate ends up winning the head of house. And they do this immediately they get into the house, because definitely if you are in a particular place and there is no leader, there is nobody coordinating you, it will definitely be disorganized. And I think this, for the first week, the head of house was Emily. I don't know if I pronounced his name very well. Emily was the person that won the head of house task. And him winning the head of house task, there were a lot of people that were not comfortable with his government, because they felt like his leadership was a little bit poor. And whenever you have a leader, you will definitely have a vice, which was, he picked a vice, an assistant, which was Ipiling, and Ipiling was there to supervise and assist him in the things that he needed as the head of house. And they had to exclude them from that particular place they were at and give them a very comfortable, cozy room, which is the head of house room, where they sleep and still discuss personally and privately on how activities and things should run in the house. I think it's a necessity, because sometimes when you have a large number of people in a particular place and you're sitting with them analyzing things, it doesn't really work well. Sometimes when you go behind closed doors to sit down and analyze these issues, it actually helps. So another thing that is being done in this reality game show is the aspect whereby they have to kick out housemates, because this housemate, they cannot stay from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. It will be very boring, and I'm sure viewers will get tired of watching the same set of people. So Big Brother tries their possible best to bring in nomination, whereby housemates have to nominate. Although for the first week the nomination was fake, but the nomination put them in a tight spot, and them being in a tight spot is more like making them to play the game and take it with all level of seriousness. Now let's talk about the aspect of talents. Is show your talents at the first week a necessary thing? Previous Big Brothers that I've watched, most housemates, the moment they step into the house, they show their talent, which is singing, dancing, acting. Most people just relax and they just study the environment and they don't display their talent. So in this particular reality show for Big Brother Titans, I don't think I've seen so much of talent, but I've seen talent in different creative aspects. And how do we know people that are talented? We know people that are talented through the task Big Brother introduces, and this task is what they use to get money for their feeding allowance. So it is through this task they display their talent, they display their creativity, and this is even where they sell themselves for people to see them and know that, okay, these people are actually good. Although for the first week, the housemates did not take their task seriously. They felt like, oh, we're in a vacation, let's just relax. And so the task was really, really whack, and they lost their wager and they did not get any money for their feeding for the week. Playing the game with a strategy, is that really necessary? Would that sell you? Would that take you far? Will it be a plus for you? Will it make you stay in the house to the very final stage? Most of the housemates come in with strategy. Some of them, their strategy works for them. Some of them, their strategy does not work for them. I mean, it spoils their game, and before you know, the next minute they are evicted. So it's a 50-50 thing. It can be good for you, it cannot be good for you. So far, this set of housemates, I think one or two housemates, they have their strategy, but we can't really tell, because identifying who has a strategy from the beginning of the show is really, really difficult. It's towards when the show has gone a little bit far, then you can tell, okay, probably this person is playing a strategy. For now, I don't really think I can point out, although I know people that are playing with a strategy, but I can't really say it's a strategy. Maybe it could be who they are, or maybe they're just trying to, get involved or get used to the environment. So let's see how it goes. Cleanliness. How do you stay with people from different backgrounds, whereby some people are not that clean, some people are extremely clean, and some people are dirty? And if you're in a particular environment, you don't have those kind of people, then I can assure you that you are not living with human beings. Now, already the housemates are already beginning to complain about people being dirty, people smelling, people not, washing their dishes. And this is a particular issue that happens on a normal basis. Like in every Big Brother edition, there's always this argument of who's going to wash the plates, who's going to wash the toilet. And I feel like you can see that these people are living the lives of how normal people live. So the cleanliness aspect is definitely going to be an issue. So one thing this Big Brother Titan is teaching us is the aspect of culture. I mean, for the first week, we have learned so many things about South African culture, and we have also learned a little bit of things about Nigerian culture. Now the question is, this set of housemates, are they educating themselves about their culture, or they are just feeling so relaxed? I feel like they are actually educating us with the culture, because for the little time that I've watched the show, I've got to know that there's Xhosa language, I've got to know that there's Zulu, and then although I know some of the Nigerian culture because I'm Nigerian, I feel like the housemates are trying their best to know the culture, because in Nigeria we have different slangs, and in South Africa they also have different slangs. So when it comes to the aspect of culture, we are definitely learning the aspect of culture through the housemates. Okay, their food. The first thing that came to my mind was like, how would these people eat in the house? Because Big Brother is not going to bring food and say, okay, this food is for Nigeria, this food is for South Africa. I mean, it's not going to be enough. So definitely these people have to learn to eat each other's food. And in my head, I'm like, how are these people going to cook? How? Because I know many people complain, I can't eat this kind of food, it's not good for me, it's allergic. Already in normal Big Brother shows like the Big Brother Nigeria, people already complain about them not eating beef, not eating chicken. They already have allergy to certain kind of food. But now we have two different countries together. How would they survive with their food? Already we have a particular housemate who is fully in charge of the kitchen. I think that is Jenny. She has given herself the mandate that she'll be the one to cook. And then they are also making us learn about their various kind of dishes, which is actually a nice one. From the first week, there's something I observed. I don't know if it's just me. I feel like the South Africans know more about our culture than Nigerians knowing more about South African culture. Because most of the housemates come out to say, oh, I have Nigerians staying in my hood, I've done things with Nigeria. In fact, one of the housemates went as far as singing the Nigerian national anthem from the beginning to the end. And most people here that are Nigerians cannot even sing the national anthem, even from the first two lines. So the aspect of culture, I feel like the South Africans really know, most of the housemates really know a lot about Nigerians, because apparently some of them stated that Nigerians are practically everywhere. So there's no how you will not learn something, one or two things about them. So I think culture, language is something we are learning, is something we are understanding from both sides. Bringing in new housemates to spice up the show, that one is very important, because these housemates sometimes, when they bring some set of housemates, some of them tend to forget themselves. Most of them come up on the first day and tell the show host that I'm going to bring pepper, I'm going to bring salt, I'm going to bring mangi into the show. But then when they enter into that environment, it's as if they have clicked their button and immediately they switch. So if Big Brother is bringing in new housemates, it's not a bad thing. It's definitely to ginger them up and make them to know that yes, you're actually working to get a prize money, so you have to be serious. So the 4 new housemates that they brought into the show, they were definitely a vibe. Getting into ships. This idea of shipping and getting into ship is a common thing in every Big Brother show. I mean, the first thing that people look out for is ship. Who is going to be dating who is going to be going out with this person? But then I always ask myself, how do you meet somebody for the very first time and you already start connecting with the person, you start kissing the person, you start, doing things under the sheets with the person? And some people even come and say, I have a boyfriend outside the house, I have a girlfriend outside the house. But then when they come into the show, they just connect to somebody else, and then before you know, they are a ship. And for those of you who are in Nigeria, you know that people take this shipping thing so serious. They go as far as creating social media platforms for them. They go as far as getting them gift items. And then there's this thing that came up that, most of these housemates, they go into the show just to ship so that they can get shippers money. They can get gift items from the shippers. But this year, I feel like the ships are a little bit shaky. Some of them are being indecisive. Some of them do not know whether they want to be in a ship. Some of them might feel like they are using the ship as a strategy. Some of them might feel like they are using the ship to just spice up the show. But the show is still going on. You'll definitely see ships and you'll know who is going to sail and who is going to sink. Celebrating housemates on their birthday. That's one of the good things I like about the Big Brother reality show. I mean, celebrating these housemates and telling other housemates to do something unique. I feel like it's also an additional content to the show. So celebrating their birthday is definitely something that is compulsory. And even though most of the housemates will be like, I don't celebrate my birthdays, Big Brother still does that celebration in order to spice up his show with content. Intelligent conversations and words of wisdom. I feel like that is even what makes me connect with Big Brother. Half of the times I'm watching the show, I want to learn something from this housemate. I want to see reasons why these housemates are being selected. And I think that this year we have 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 persons that have sat down to have intelligent conversation and give us words of wisdom. I mean, this is how people learn, this is how people get educated. People complain that this show does not educate people, but I can assure you that their housemates will sit down to have intelligent conversations and give words of wisdom. Although this set of people are not really appreciated or they are not really acknowledged, because normally society, everybody likes what is nasty and what is not positive. So they will always promote the negative narrative than promote the positive narrative. So at the end of the day, it will not look like these people are not having intelligent conversations or they're not giving out words of wisdom, but they definitely are doing it. But it's just that people do not project that aspect more, and which is quite sad. Talking about the past and bringing their life before the show into the game. People used to feel like, some people bring in their past life just to, use it as their strategy. Some people talk about how life was not rosy, how life was not beautiful. And, most of us, we connect some certain kind of way. If a housemate sells a particular kind of narrative about his growing up or childhood days, some of us have this feeling, if this housemate went through this, I'm definitely going to vote. I think Big Brother tries to bring in that just to show the housemate that this housemate, they actually had a life before getting into the show. And I also feel like that is another form of content, because this is how people sitting down to watch the show will be looking at this housemate. They will want to know what's up with their growing up, how did they make it in life. So if people are using it as their strategy, some people it ends up being an advantage for them. Some people it ends up being a disadvantage for them. Whichever one, if it works for them, fine. If it doesn't, the game will still go on. Housemates who seem to be occupying space. Yes, this particular one is very annoying. I mean, you see a housemate not being active. The housemate is so dull. The housemate is not even participating in anything. It is very, very, very annoying. Do we have those kind of housemates in this season? Definitely we do. But then we are going to see if along the line they are going to switch, because some of them come up with this, oh, I'm just trying to observe the environment, I'm trying to bond with the housemate. Let's see if it's going to be a plus for them or if it's not going to be a plus, because some of these people, it doesn't really work for them. When you don't bring in the content, they will just look for a way to make sure that they evict you. And Big Brother, they need content. If you're not bringing content, the viewers will definitely not vote. So I feel like most of these people are definitely occupying space. I mean, they are occupying a space that somebody would have definitely given a good content should have been there. The arena games, that is where we know who is sporty. That is where we know who is energetic. I mean, that's where I would say the show of sportsmanship, and Big Brother actually uses this to, make this housemate not to be too relaxed. Aside from the arena games, we also have fitness, which is compulsory every morning. On a normal day, most of us do not take fitness serious. We just wake up in the morning, say our prayers, and then we go to wherever we want to go to. But the fitness is a priority, and the fact that Big Brother brings in various fitness coaches to train this housemate is a very good thing, so that it will make them more energetic and not to be so relaxed in the house. The Saturday night party, is it really necessary? Of course it is. Although the Saturday night party brings in the whole flirty and brings in those very, very naughty side of most of the housemates, and that's where people come in to criticize, condemn, like, what is this one dancing, why is this one doing like this, this show is not good. So the Saturday night party is where you see the other side of the housemate, because alcohol is involved. When people take alcohol, they just behave a certain type of way. So Big Brother, I feel like each and every one of these things that Big Brother brings in is Big Brother's content. So you cannot condemn, you cannot criticize. The only thing you can do is just to analyze it and see how it's of positive and is of negative impact to the society. So the Saturday night party, it brings out a lot of things from this housemate. And some of the housemates displayed some certain kind of character. Some of the housemates came out of the shell through the Saturday night party. Most of us were like, wow, could it be alcohol? Alcohol does a lot of things. Gossip, games. What's the Big Brother show without gossip? I mean, people need to gossip. People need to talk about other people. In our everyday life, we tend to gossip about people. We tend to criticize people. We tend to talk about them. So if in that particular environment, people are gossiping, it's normal. I mean, you can't be in a particular place and shut your mouth. You still talk about people, because in your everyday life you gossip. So I see no reason why people should criticize those housemates that gossip. And the games the housemates introduce, yes, they have to introduce games because they don't have a phone, they don't have a TV, they are the entertainment. So it's a normal thing that they have to bring in those games, they have to bring in those exciting things. I mean, that is even where they show their level of creativity, that is where they sell their market, that is where they show their talent. So games is very necessary, gossip is very necessary, and it shouldn't be condemned. Shooting your shot before it's too late. Yeah, oftentimes people complain, oh, this was the person I wanted, but because this other person went to shoot their shots, I couldn't come in. And it's usually very heartbreaking and painful. So that is why at the first week you see different kind of ships trying to form. I also feel like that is also another way of shooting their shots, so that they don't end up losing the person that they really wanted. So in general, we are really learning about the African culture. I feel like what Big Brother Titans is teaching us is that we shouldn't just focus on learning about Nigerian culture. We should focus on learning about Africa as a whole. And I'm saying this because it's certain housemates or two housemates we having conversation about the African culture, and they said what they are learning now is that they are learning things about Africa, not just South Africa, not just Nigeria. Before now, most of them were just so into the Nigerian culture, most of them were just so into the South African culture. So them coming together, they are learning what happens in Nigeria and what happens in South Africa. This is why we as an individual, sometimes we should go to places, we should visit various parts of the country. And although I know that yes, sometimes it has to do with your resources, is it something you can afford, but then learning about the culture, learning about the tradition is very important, because most of us, our culture are going into extinct, and it's really going to affect children that are coming up. So for this Big Brother Titans, it's a plus, and it would be nice if viewers do not focus on the aspect that the show is negative and look at the positive and the positive impact of the show. Me, I look at the positive impact of the show. I don't think I would want to talk about those that come here and chase those who are doing things under the sheet. I will definitely come here and talk about conversations that are creating impact to the society. I hope you enjoyed this segment of Big Brother Conversations for Big Brother Titans, and you learned one or two things from this conversation and analysis that was being done, something that we can talk about and analyze, and probably you will learn from. Don't forget to subscribe to Gist Always YouTube channel, follow them on all socials, and also make sure you connect with me, Karenayou. Bye.
Visit www.gistalways.ng to be inspired and be informed.